law. Now I want to bring in Mary Ellen O'Toole, a former senior FBI profiler, and Anthony Curtis, a professional gambler and publisher of the Las Vegas Advisor. Good evening to both of you. Thanks for coming on. Mary Ellen, still so many questions tonight, but we are getting a profile of Paddock as a gambler. A New York Times article described Paddock's video poker playing like this. It says, for experts like Mr. Paddock, who had played the game for 25 years, his brother said, each hand required only a few seconds of time. 10 hands could be played in a minute. The computer kept track of the financial tally. It is a game of coldly calculated probabilities played without hunches or emotion. So without hunches or emotion, you also say extremely high risk. You see extremely high risk. How does that fit with his profile, Mary?
Well, it's consistent with the behavior that we saw displayed in the crime scene. I mean, just the tremendous amount of damage that he was inflicting on the people below, and that was so very cold and callous behavior, and he was able to continue to do it for upwards of 9 or 10 minutes, which also suggests that he was, cool, calm, collected, and very laser focused on what he was doing. And he was able to think methodically, going from window to window and swapping out weapons. So the same kinds of behavior that he displayed while he was gambling seemed to also be displayed while he was committing the crime itself.
Mm-hmm. Mary Ellen, the hairdresser, I'm sure you heard Kyung's report just before. The hairdresser mentioning that on 2 occasions he smelled of alcohol. Does that have any significance here?
Well, as I was listening to that, I thought he'd been up all night drinking, and that's interesting. If he does that routinely, then he's still able to engage in high-risk behavior where he could stand to lose thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he's using alcohol at the same time. And so just to be able to continue to do that high-risk behavior while he's compromised, I think really shows his ability to function under stress. I also thought it was important to note that he made a comment 2 months before he even apparently bought the airline ticket that Mary Lou was going out of town, and he says that right in front of another woman. So his disregard for Mary Lou seemed to come out in that particular situation, whether or not Mary Lou even heard it or not, just to say that to another woman.
Yeah. Anthony, you know people who know Paddock. What are they telling you about him? How good of a gambler was he?
It's very difficult to tell how good he was just on, observation, seeing him play. You don't stand over somebody's back, shoulder and watch what they're doing. The level he was playing, he was definitely playing at a high level. He appears to have been well studied. I publish gambling products, and he's on our mail list, and he had bought products from us, very significantly tutorial type products for sure.
Let's talk about the type of games that he played. What type of games did he play? How much money are we talking about? Was he making a living off of this, or doing it for the comps? What was going on?
Well, here's the interesting thing about video poker. Video poker is one of the few games in a casino where you can make a living off of it. You can get to the expert and professional level where you actually can make more than you lose. Was this guy able to do it? I don't think so. It looks to me like he was playing at a high level, a high enough level to be a high roller in the casino and in the VIP program, and he feasted off the comps, the things that he got. I would guess that he was a net loser over time. He was playing good games, and he was studied, so probably not too much compared to the comps he was getting.
Mary Ellen, also, according to the New York Times, the room at the Mandalay Bay was comped, and Paddock called security to complain about the noise, country music coming from the room below him twice the night before that shooting. Does that tell you anything about his confidence level at that hotel?
It really does, and it also lends itself to the idea that that may have been why the house cleaners who knew him, if he had stayed at that hotel before, had not questioned the fact that he had multiple suitcases there. I mean, he was a familiar entity there at that hotel, and it certainly also suggests that the comps that he got and his treatment from that hotel, because he was a gambler, that was extremely important to him. He got status from that, and I think that was one of the reasons that he continually came back, because of those perks.
Anthony, what do you want to say?
I agree. I think that the status and the perks were very important to him. There are certain players that do play for a living. There are certain players that play avocationally, and they, you know, for them it's the comps, for them it's the extras, for them it's being a big shot. It sounds like he was Paddock was a player of that ilk.
Did anybody tell you about any incident that happened to him over the last year that might trigger this, Anthony?
No. The people that knew him, that I know that knew him, sort of ran across him by running in the same circles. They said he was very quiet. You know, we were talking earlier about the alcohol. They said he drank a lot, but he did not interact much with other people. But that's not abnormal for people in the high roller realm. They tend to be sort of introverted and keep to themselves.
Anthony, Mary Ellen, thank you both. I appreciate it.